It's a 15-inch. It's a 13 inches A1502. And it's a 2015. Okay. The other time I was saying something about how you can easily differentiate between a 2015 and a 2013 2014. The overall design is the same thing. There's no outstanding difference between the 2013 and the 2014. Actually, we've got a 2013 there, yeah? 2013, 2014. Where is the other 20? Where is the 2014 that you installed? The first, second, the third. Right, left? First one. Here? This one. Okay, so this is the 2013, 2014. As you can see, there is no actual difference between both. However, the one thing you will notice is the 2013, 2014 has, so the trackpad, so this is a hard, this is a kind of like a, so you're expecting to have haptic feedback from this only when you have power to the machine. That's when you get response from the trackpad. But this one, you can get, so with this is it's different. You can actually feel the click, unlike what you will feel here. This you only feel the click when the device is on. Okay, so this is in for no power. Just put this aside. Let us quickly go over. As usual, we're not going to connect charger to the device until we are sure what state the device is in. Okay, back screws are out. And when you open the inside, one of the ways you can also easily identify what it is the trackpad cable that goes over the battery. If this was a 2013, 2014, even the 2012s, which is A1425, the trackpad cable will go underneath the battery. Okay, so we do not see any. Uh, you can take it. You can take it, and if I can, maybe if I can, maybe I can come to your place if I can. Uh, no, it's fine. Even it's fine. There's something I picked up. This has to, we have to open up the screen itself. Uh, so we do not see any obvious liquid damage, so it's safe to connect. Yes. So it's safe to connect charger. We have communication on our charger. Do not expect a fan spin, unlike the 2013, the 2014s. The 2015, the fan will only kick in when the CPU becomes really crazily hot. So we have charger communication that tells us we have PPDC in voltage. We also have PP3V42 voltage. If we didn't have those two, we would not have communication on our charger. Now, what we want to do is let us see what we have on our PP bus line. PP bus we can measure at this resistor here. So let's quickly open up the board view as well. This is going to be 8204924. 8204924, 4924, 4924, 4924. Okay, so our PP bus we can measure on this guy here, R7005. Okay, let's see what we have on that resistor. 12.6. Okay, that is good. So that also tells us that the SMC is working at the level of the PP bus. Let's see what we have on this coil. Voltage on L7520 would indicate that the device is making its way into SO state, which is PP3V3, PP5 volt in S3. That would tell us that the device is making its way into SO. Let's see what we have. 0 volt. Okay, so now let's disconnect our battery and try again. try again. 12.56. Anything? Nothing. Okay, so let's quickly take the board out of the shell and get an idea what we're dealing with. So usually what I do is I do not I leave the DC jack on the board because I obviously need the DC jack to work on the board. So I do not disconnect the DC jack. I leave the DC jack on the board. However, and also I don't remove the fan because I need the fan uh, for my troubleshooting as well. Even though I'm not going to get an immediate response from the fan because it's a 2015. So, but usually when I am doing my troubleshooting, um, on the older models, of course, I tend to leave the fan on the board because that gives me uh, the, the options of the fan spin that we get when the device is on. Okay, so that is done. Let's flip the board to the other side. Let's see. Let's try to dust it. As usual, what we want to do is we want to first go over it. Visual inspection. See if anything stands out. Okay, so the what stands out here, it's this section of the board here. That's the only thing that stands out. We're not sure what that is, so let's check what that section of the board is. That's a U2030, and that is okay. And beside it, you have okay. Hmm. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Let's quickly replace that. And the resistor as well. Let's see which current is that. So the reason why I say it's interesting because U2030 it's a camera power AN, and then camera power AN underscore PCH, and then you have camera power enable basically. So I would expect that if this is going to be a problem, the device should be making its way into SO state, and maybe you get like the device freezing and or random shutdown, or behavior of such, not the device not starting at all. And PP3, unless that would unless PP3 underscore S4 is shorted to ground through the chip, and I don't think that is the case. Anyway, let's see what we get with the chip off the board before we replace it. So that is basically that, and that's obviously not an S4 generation circuitry. That is where S4 is powering something. So that chip being on the board, whether the chip is on the board or not, the board will start just fine. So that chip has nothing to do with the board starting. So with the chip out, if the chip was a problem with the chip out, then we should have a working board. But obviously, the chip it's not a problem, which then we still have our board stuck in the same state. Let's see. Interesting. And that was our problem. So the chip was our problem. U2030 was our problem. So most likely, the chip was shorting PP3V4, PP3V3 underscore S4 rail to ground, because that's the only sensible, I will say, only thing that will make sense. Because I'm just gonna go. So if we go to U30, U2030, let's go to our schematic here. Let's go to our schematic 4924, 4924, 4980, 4924. So 820, 4924. So if we go to U2030, let's see what that is. U2030. So that is a logic gate, and we see it's basically you have 1, 2, 3 ground, 4, 5, which is where PP3V3 underscore S4 powers it, and then you have 4, which is the output. So this is not. So here you have camera power EN going into the chip. So you have 1 and 2 to be required, and then at 5 is where you get power. Okay. Hmm. Interesting. So the chip was the problem. So because so what we should actually have done was to make measurements before removing the chip, so that we get an idea of what the chip was doing to the board. In any case, U2030, it's our problem. As we see, U2030 not being on the board, we have a working board. So let's basically put back the chip, and that's it. And then we should be good to go. I'll get a donor board to replace the chip from. So Okay, let's quickly clean that. Okay, let's see if we have a working board. Is our board starting? And yes, our board is starting. So let's see if we have display. Let's see if we have an Apple logo. For this, we just need the screen connected. Okay, screen is connected. Let's see. Do we have okay? We have brightness on our screen, and there you go, guys. That's our Apple logo. Okay, so that's it. I'm just gonna do a quick summary of what we had to do. The device was a low power, and so we took out the board, do a visual inspection on it, and we found signs of corrosion by U2030. So what we had to do was U2030 is not directly required for the machine to start. So which is why when I saw there was corrosion at the section of U2030, I said this is interesting because U2030 is not required for the machine to start. So U2030 it's part of the peripheral or the part of the secondary peripherals of the machine. So and then one of so one of what could have been the issue was U2030 was partially uh, uh, because of the corrosion on that. So it was partially basically creating some kind of interference for the machine, preventing the machine from starting. But what we didn't do was we didn't measure on the lines that U2030 is connected to see what behavior we're getting on the lines. But nonetheless, so we had to remove U2030 and then to test the machine because, like I said, U2030 is not required for the machine to start. And then the machine was starting, which confirmed that the reason the machine was not starting was because of U2030 being corroded. So we replaced U2030, and then we tried it again, and then we still have power, and then we connected our board to screen to see if we have image, and we have image. So that was a quick and simple repair, and we have a fully functional machine, I suppose. I mean, it was a machine that's no power, and that was the only issue with the machine. So I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you.